Let's get a view on the macro picture. Peter McGuire from XM is joining us now. Peter, good morning to you. Look, we are all on edge right around the world, as are markets, looking with a wary eye toward the Middle East. Where's your focus firmly right now?
Well, good morning, Nadine. I think fairly focused on retaliatory and where does Israel play over the next 24 to 48 hours. If it sits on its hands and we don't see any escalate in the sense of a response, then I feel as though that you'll probably take a little bit of heat out of the markets. Maybe you could trim off $1 or $2 as far as crude. But if there was some form of retaliation, then we've just got to see what impact that has naturally to shipping, of course, to supply as far as crude and overall, stability across the Middle East.
And so, what do you make, Peter, of the move that we saw in oil? Because obviously escalated. The price has risen on these escalating tensions. But as I mentioned earlier, it didn't go parabolic.
No, it didn't. I mean, you saw a sell-off naturally as far as equities. You saw gold even give up a little bit as well. US dollar strengthened above that 106 handle, Nadine. So maybe that was that flight to safety. There was probably, crude put on a little bit of a jump, but nothing tremendous. And it's sitting at the moment, the best part of that $90 plus for Brent. We'll just have to wait and see, how that all goes across Asia trade and naturally, later in the day when the US opens and so on. So we're just in a process of, digesting the information and seeing where it rolls from here.
Okay, so lots of unknowns there. We do know what economic data we're getting this week, and it's a lot. China is in focus with its GDP tomorrow, when we know that there have been cracks in the economic picture in China. And now we also, get U.S. retail sales, we get jobs here in Australia. So from a macro point of view, where is your real focus?
Well, as far as the US is concerned, it's relatively positive, Nadine. So we'll just have to see, again, the impact that has across equities and the overall theme there. So strong consumption. As far as China's concerned, well, we understand the deflationary situation that they're in, the growth numbers. You've got the likes of Morgan's coming out and Goldman Sachs, very, very bullish in their expectation as far as growth for that first quarter. And then naturally where that rolls across to our numbers here, it's a little bit choppy across the Australian situation. So we've just got to see again when the numbers drop and the impact it has to confidence and of course to markets.
Okay, Bitcoin obviously is one to watch. We've got the halving coming up, and obviously it's very risk sensitive. So when you look at Bitcoin, when you look at the charts in regards to Bitcoin, what does it tell you about the weight of expectation for this digital currency?
Well, this time last week, Nadine, it was around 72, then it dumped to 62. So it was down the best part of 15% as of, over the weekend. Now it's back up to 65. It's bounced higher, nearly 66. So it's incredibly volatile, as we know, we've got that halving situation coming through and how that's going to materialize. I think it's only going to drive prices higher. But when you've got geopolitical concerns and all of that, into the melting pot, then that creates, I think, more, risk-sensitive perspectives. And we've just got to see how it all, I think this early part of the week will be very volatile. And strap yourself in. Yeah,
we've got the local market currently trading down by about 0.4%, 7,760. Negative week overall last week. So where do we sit in terms of the ASX in your view now, Peter?
Well, I think that, as the day progresses, Nadine, then I feel as though you probably could follow on from some of that sell-off that we saw in the States. NASDAQ down 1.62, the S&P 1.5, 1.25 for the Dow. So it may be a little bit further softness for the Aussie. We've just got to see again, how geopolitical concerns, this is, a little, that focus changes the footprint as far as interpretation of markets and the sensitivity towards, direction. So, there's a lot of moving parts at the moment.